Okay, hello everyone. As most of you know, in addition to teaching French and the theory of knowledge at Lowcountry, I'm also the IB coordinator. And I'm really excited that Mrs. Tester is going to be assisting me with the extended essay this year. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the role of the extended essay within the diploma program. So as you know, for all diploma candidates, it is required to write the extended essay. However, if any of you are thinking about dropping down to the certificate program or have any other questions related to IB, please don't hesitate to contact me. During this period of quarantine, I'm happy to schedule a Zoom meeting or connect with you another way, since I want to make sure we can address any questions before senior year. With the extended essay, traditionally students start at the end of their junior year thinking about a topic, and so that's where we are now. And over the summer, students will work on completing a draft. And there will be time built into our TOK class next fall, and so we will kind of reserve part of first semester to work on the extended essay on both the writing and the editing process. And Mrs. Tester is going to go into that schedule a bit more. But before I turn it over to her, I want to briefly talk about the components of the diploma program. So here we have the diploma program and the core. So on the outer circle, you have the different classes that are part of the diploma program: mathematics, sciences, the arts. And then in kind of the inner circle, you have theory of knowledge, extended essay, and then creativity, activity, and service, which is obviously CAS and the community service component. What's in the middle, TOK and extended essay and CAS, are what we call the core. And those are, really important to the IB program. So in order to get the diploma, 24 points are needed out of the 45 points available. And students can get 3 points for their work in TOK and extended essay. So there are 2 TOK assessments that students will complete in the fall and the spring of their senior year, and then there's the extended essay. So that kind of makes up that extra 3 points. And so I just want to kind of draw your attention to that. And I'm going to now talk a little bit more about the extended essay and really what is it. So the extended essay is a great opportunity for students to investigate a topic that's of personal interest to them. And this year we had one student write about the meltdown of the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Another student talked about the correlation between violence and video games. And then our third diploma candidate this year talked about the state of sex work in modern America. So you can see the topics are extremely varied. They kind of connect well to our students' passions and kind of the classes that they really are excited about. I think the question that I get the most about extended essay is how long does it have to be? So the extended essay is a 4,000 word paper. Now, hopefully, this will prepare students who might want to go on to undergraduate research, or that relationship with their advisor will really help when you're going through the application process and applying to colleges. Throughout this process, students have the opportunity to form a research question, communicate their ideas with their advisor, and then obviously, develop their argument as they write the extended essay. Throughout this whole process, I want to make it clear that you have a lot of support at Lowcountry. Between my role as the IB coordinator, through Mrs. Tester's role as the English department, and then your advisor, there is a lot of support there for you. You will have 3 to 4 meetings throughout the year with your advisor. And again, if you kind of keep up with those throughout the semester, completing your extended essay at the end in December, should go really well, and it's a formula that has worked in the past. Another question I get a lot is, how are the extended essays scored? These are scored by IB examiners outside of Lowcountry, but they are on a scale of 0 to 34, and students are given an A, B, C, D, or an E. I will point out that you can get a C. Many students know this. You can still get a C on the extended essay and get 1 point towards the diploma program. So I just want to make that clear that you can get an A, B, or C to earn those extra points that will go towards that final overall score.
Okay, awesome. So did you want me to kind of talk about a little the schedule that we've come up with here?
Yeah, that would be
Um,
great.
okay, great. So Ms. Van Hoek and I kind of sat down and thought about some of the struggles that the seniors might have had this year or in years past, and we came up with a schedule that we thought would be the most beneficial to help, like she said, guide you through this process. So again, these dates are concrete, that we've gone through the calendar for the next school year, and this is what we think is going to go the best with our school calendar. So we're actually starting before school ends. So we want to be sure that before the juniors leave for summer, that they feel really secure about what the extended essay is, what is their role going to be next year tackling the extended essay, and also solidifying their topic before they even leave for summer. So Monday, May 11th, they're actually going to submit their topic to Mrs. Van Hoewyk and through their TOK Google Classroom. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that submission form and the process for that later on. They're also going to fill out a supervisor preference. That'll be a Google form where they can write down what teacher they would like to work closely with throughout their senior year tackling their extended essay. And again, this usually falls under the content area that they decide to tackle the essay. So for example, if they're writing about a research question that has to do with biology, they might couple up with their bio teacher. And we want their feedback as well, so we can kind of create a matching process there to match our faculty with our students. By Wednesday, May 20th, so again, before we leave for summer, Mrs. Van Hoek and I will have gone through all of the different research questions to be sure that they're specific, to be sure that they're sound, and that you're set up for success over the summer and into your senior year. Again, I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. This is something that we haven't done before, but it shouldn't be any news to the juniors in my class this year. You will have to conference with me over the summer. So we've set it up where it is close to the beginning of the school year. So hopefully if you have summer plans, you'll be back in town at that point. If not, you can always, we will be proficient with Zoom. We are proficient with Zoom now. So we can always virtually do a conference as well. So that will be July 27th through the 31st, the Monday through Friday, right before August. So over the summer, you're going to work on an outline. And when you meet with me before your senior year starts, that outline is completed. You set yourself up to be able to begin your essay when school starts. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about that outline too once we finish the schedule. Then this is something new as well. And again, one of the reasons why I've been kind of brought into this is that you will be using some of your English class time to work on this essay. So when you come in with clear hearts, clear mind, clear eyes, all of these things in August, you'll sit down and you'll really begin the writing process. So you'll have a full 5 days that week of August 12th through the 19th to tackle your essay with me there to kind of help you jumpstart the process. Again, it's 4,000 words, so this is pretty significant, and we want to get the process started as quickly as possible. So by August 24th, your first draft is due. So that's not your first paragraph, that's not your first page, that's 4,000 words submitted, and that will be submitted to Mrs. Van Hoewyk through the TOK classroom. So she'll be sure that you have submitted that first draft. You will have received your supervisor preference, like if you've gotten your preference or whoever you've been assigned to, you'll get that assignment. So by October 30th, it is your job to reach out to that teacher and sign up for a conference with them. So you're going to schedule and complete your individual conference. So really, guys, you've written your essay at this point. So the whole supervisor coming in is that they can kind of help you make edits and suggest things and really dig into that content even more. And you will have to reflect after each time you meet with your supervisor, and those reflections are due to Ms. Van Hoewyk. Then by December 14th, you have your final draft due. So you want to be sure that you submit that before Christmas break. So the idea is that you've done your draft, you've met with me, you've met with your supervisor, and then you're going to submit what you think is your best work before Christmas break. That again will be due to Ms. Van Hoewyk. Then you'll come back from Christmas break after having, some time away from it, and you'll actually sit down with your final conference. Over Christmas break, hopefully your supervisor will have had time to look over what you've submitted, have feedback for those final edits. So again, this is known as the concluding interview, where you sit down with that teacher and really work through these final edits. Then January 16th is a class period that you'll have with me, where I kind of show you what a table of contents looks like to really organize. Again, this is a lot of pages, so we're going to create a table of contents. We're going to be sure it's formatted. I'll kind of quickly double check your APA. Hopefully Mrs. Van Hoewyk can tune into that class as well, so both of our eyes will kind of be on making sure everything formatting wise is good. And then you'll kind of have the rest of that month to really put any finishing touches, any finishing polishes, and then you'll submit your final draft by January 22nd. And Ms. Van Hoewyk was really strategic in the way she did this, because it's important. We want you guys to have this out the way before you start really preparing for those exams in May. So we want y'all to be set up and kind of have this out the way by the beginning of the year. And hopefully this outline will really help you guys be able to accomplish that with a lot of help along the way. So a few things I'm just going to breeze through really quickly that I talked about in this schedule. The first being that your topic submission form that's due May 11th. So I've attached here an example of the topic submission form that's been filled out. So it teaches you how to fill it out. So basically this is a form that really helps you think about what you want to research, because you might be saying, well, I don't know what my interest is. I don't know what I can write 4,000 words on. Going through this form really helps you figure that out. So for example, this first question is, which subjects have you really enjoyed? Well, there's 3 subjects that, let's just say I'm really into literature, history, and bio. Then I break it down. What about those subject areas interests me? Well, I really enjoyed our unit on 19th century novels. I love discussing love, relationships, right? Or maybe in biology, I really love talking about bacteria. I don't know, right? You're really trying to hone in on these subject areas, okay? Once you've kind of really honed in on what you're interested in, then you're just going to form a generalized question. So when I'm looking at this list, bacteria is cool, the Spartans were cool, but I'm really into 19th century novels. So I might just come up with a question: the theme of love and relationships in 19th century novels. So then you're going to try to figure out what are the limiting factors of what you've come up with. And limiting factors are basically things that are too general. What is going to limit your paper from being specific? So when you kind of go down here to this, you realize that 19th century novels is really general. So the limiting factor there might be, what novel? Well, Jane Austen. Okay, so then you might even hone it down even more from Jane Austen. What specific novel, or what type of relationships? Is it marriage? Is it family? Is it familial? So again, you're identifying all of these limiting factors until it brings you down to this really specific research question. And you guys know that that's going to help you, because we've talked a lot about how thesis statements have to be specific. So the more specific your question, the more specific your thesis. The more specific your thesis, the more credibility your research paper has. Okay, so again, I will walk y'all through, I will walk students through this in detail, like when I give them this form, but this is just it really broken down. So you can see how it keeps being refined. So then it gets down to this final question: in what ways does Jane Austen express her attitudes in the theme of love and marriage inherent in her work, Pride and Prejudice? So see, it went from my interest in 19th century novels, and love to this really specific question. And it's broken down for you too here, a history example, and then also a biology example too, visual arts, all of these things. So again, parents and students to take a look at this and see the process. I will be breaking it down even more in a class period for students. Okay, so that's what's due. If you look back at the schedule, that is what's actually going to be due Monday, May 11th. Okay, over the summer, once that topic's been approved, so you'll hear from Mrs. Van Hoewyk by Wednesday, May 20th, saying, yes, this is specific, yes, this is great, move forward. Once you get the go-ahead, we will have sent you a copy of this outline. This is what you're working on over the summer, okay, the extended essay outline. I'm not gonna go through it right now just because this looks a lot like our outlines that we do in English class. It's just a lot more detailed and a lot more involved because, again, we're dealing with 4,000 words. So it just walks you through everything. When you conference with me at the end of July, this has to be completely filled out. You've got to have your arguments. You've got to have your sources. You've got to have your introduction, your conclusion, of course, your strong thesis there. All of this needs to be filled out by the time I see you. So that way I can approve it and you're set up for that writing workshop the first week of school with me, okay? Some supplemental links that Mrs. Van Hoewyk and I have kind of put together for you. This is just an overall link to the IB website in general here that takes you and shows you, it's kind of slow loading here, but you can really read about more about the extended essay. You can read about deadlines. You can read about just kind of how they've broken down this process for you. And then also I've attached here, let's see, oh, it took me out of my document. You can go ahead and sign up for your time to conference with me this summer. So it's linked, it's the second link here, extended essay example, or excuse me, the last link here, 2020 summer conferencing with Ms. Tester. So if you click on this, it takes you to a spreadsheet with different times. It's 4 different times for 5 different days, around 20 of y'all. If I'm off on that number, you can always write your name in and I'll work with you. I will confirm at least a month beforehand your time and you'll get an email from me on that. And then this middle link here, it's just an expansion on the first link. It takes you immediately to examples of extended essays and scoring. So it shows you a bunch of different topic areas. It's actually really helpful. I would really suggest looking through here. So it shows you if you know you're going to be interested in writing on global politics or language acquisition. Like I might click on this. I'm obviously English, so I can click on this. I can see where they were awarded marks for this essay. I can see how the reasoning why. And if you scroll down, this is actually a really great example because it's a 31 out of 34. So that would be that A rating. This would be a great paper to look at and to see. So you're probably like, how do I look at it? Well, you just click student work PDF and it brings up immediately their entire extended essay. So again, they've got tons of different examples. This was, you know, we talked about the table of contents. We'll work on all of this formatting, but y'all can see it's pretty substantial here. And they've got essays that scored as low as 12 on here, as low as 18, and then as high as 33, 32. So I really suggest exploring this to kind of see what's in store for you there. Okay, that was kind of a lot of information. Do you have anything to add, Ms. Van Hoewyk, about kind of the process and what's expected here?
No, I think, I hope that this is a really good framework for what needs to happen, and, you know, just being able to block it out, it won't be as daunting because I think being told in August that you have to write a 4,000 word essay is really unfair. So hopefully just going step by step, you'll be able to kind of compartmentalize and get this done. We will certainly talk about this a little bit more in TOK for the next few weeks. So I will devote a little bit of time every Monday so I can address any questions. And then we are also planning a Zoom meeting, kind of a live Zoom meeting, I believe on Monday, May 4th, and we'll send out a Zoom invite, but it would be great to follow up with students and parents after you've read through, you know, some of the materials and looked over it, and just thought about any major questions you have before, you know, before midterm or before finals and the end of the year, and then before we all leave for summer. So I look forward to talking with you all more as a group with Mrs. Tester and everybody in a couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you. See
Thanks.
ya.
Bye.